Just when you thought Maxton Hall season 2 couldn't twist the knife any deeper, the finale is about to tear apart everything Ruby and James fought so hard to rebuild. Secrets are exploding, alliances are collapsing, and one phone call is about to change Ruby's entire world forever. If you thought episode 5 was emotional, trust me, you are not ready for what comes next. The season finale begins right where the previous episode left us, with chaos quietly spreading like wildfire beneath the polished surface of Maxton Hall. Everyone is smiling for the yearbook photo, but the truth is, every single character is just seconds away from their life falling apart. And the worst part? None of them even know it yet. Mr. Lexington is the first domino. That message he received, yes, the one that wiped the smile off his face, does not stay a secret for long. He steps aside, replays the footage, and instantly recognizes the two people in it. Lydia and Graham. The scandal he feared the most is now sitting right in his inbox, undeniable and explosive. The shock freezes him, because he knows exactly what this means. Student, teacher involvement, pregnancy, and a reputation that, once destroyed, can never be recovered. And the finale wastes no time showing the consequences. Back at the Balfort house, James wakes up early, anxious, and determined. He can't stop replaying Ruby's words from the day before. Her exhaustion, her fear, her whisper that she needed time. These things haunt him. He wants to give her space, he really does, but he also knows Mortimer is still pulling strings in the shadows. So James is stuck between letting Ruby breathe and fighting to protect her from a man who has never cared about anything except control. Meanwhile, Mortimer is acting strangely calm. Too calm. He sits at the breakfast table with the same cold smile that hides every terrible thing he's planning. James watches him closely, sensing something is off, but not yet knowing just how far Mortimer has already gone. Ruby, on the other hand, is trying to hold herself together after learning that her scholarship, her future, was taken from her because of a man who can't stand that his son is in love with someone from a different world. She wants to stay positive. She wants to focus on her exam application, but the fear is there, quietly suffocating her. Every time she tries to rest, the thought hits her. What if she never gets into Oxford now? What if her entire dream falls apart because of Mortimer Balfort? And the worst part is, she knows that this is only the beginning. At Maxton Hall, whispers start spreading. The seniors sense something is brewing. Cyril avoids Lydia after witnessing her kiss Graham, while Elaine keeps checking her phone, wondering whether to release the footage or keep it hidden for the perfect moment. Lydia feels sick with dread, knowing deep down that somebody saw her, that someone might expose her at any second. But her fear is nothing compared to what James and Ruby are about to face. James receives an email from the Campbell Foundation confirming his meeting with Mrs. Campbell. He immediately texts Ruby, hoping she'll reply. Nothing. Minutes pass. Still nothing. His heart sinks, not because he thinks she's angry, but because he knows she's hurting and shutting down in the only way she knows how. And James hates that he can't be there for her. Not fully, not yet. When James arrives at his father's study to grab some documents before school, he stops in the doorway and freezes. Mortimer is staring at the Oxford photo, their photo, his face twisted into something cold and satisfied. In that moment, James knows. The scholarship wasn't just canceled. It was targeted, deliberate, planned. And Mortimer wanted him to see it. The finale makes it painfully clear. Mortimer isn't done. Not even close. Ruby reaches school with her heart pounding. She tries to focus, tries to smile, but the weight of everything is crushing. Lynn notices instantly. She tries to comfort Ruby, but Ruby only gives a small nod, because even she doesn't know how to put her fear into words yet. The world is spinning faster than she can control. By midday, rumors about Lydia's scandals start circling the hallways. Students whisper. Teachers look tense, and the atmosphere thickens with anticipation. Something big is coming. Everyone can feel it. And somewhere in that rising tension, Ruby receives a call that will destroy the fragile stability she was barely holding on to. She answers and the world stops. Her father has been in a terrible accident. And just like that, everything breaks at once. The moment Ruby hears the words serious accident, everything inside her collapses. The noise of Maxton Hall fades into nothing. Her heart pounds, her hands shake, and she can't even breathe long enough to ask questions. All she knows is that her father, her anchor, her protector, might not survive. Panic takes over instantly. Lynn rushes to her side, trying to steady her, but Ruby is already sprinting out of the hallway, desperate to get home. The finale does not hold back here. It throws Ruby into the deepest emotional storm she has faced all season. And sadly, she is completely alone in that moment. As Ruby runs out of the school, James is entering through the main corridor. Before he can even call her name, she races past him. Her eyes are full of tears, her face pale, her breathing shaking. James immediately knows this isn't about them. This isn't about a fight or stress or Mortimer. This is something far worse. He calls after her, but she doesn't stop. She can't. When Ruby reaches the parking lot, Lynn follows close behind, explaining breathlessly what happened. James hears the words, her dad, car accident, and the world slips out from under him. Without hesitation, he grabs his keys and follows them, terrified for her, terrified of losing her again. Meanwhile, inside Maxton Hall, the drama doesn't slow down. Word about the leaked video spreads faster than wildfire. Cyril tries to warn Lydia before things get uglier, but she refuses to listen. She's too shaken, too wrapped up in her guilt and panic. She knows she's made mistakes, huge ones, but she has no idea that the situation is about to explode in front of the entire school. And while Lydia's scandal is chaos, it is nothing compared to the emotional catastrophe Ruby is experiencing. Ruby finally reaches the hospital with Lynn by her side. The fluorescent lights feel too bright, the air too cold, and every step feels heavier than the last. A doctor approaches her, and the look on his face says everything before he even speaks. Her father is alive, but barely. Critical condition. Multiple injuries. Surgery needed. No promises. Ruby's world shatters at those words. She feels the ground slipping, her knees weakening, but she forces herself to stay strong. She must. Her family needs her. When James arrives at the hospital, his eyes search for Ruby like she is the only thing that matters in the world. And when he finally finds her sitting alone, trembling with fear, something inside him breaks. He sits next to her, gently takes her hand, and tells her he's there, no pressure, no expectations, just presence. But Ruby pulls her hand away. Not because she doesn't love him. She does deeply, but because she is collapsing under the weight of too much pain. She whispers, barely audible, that she cannot handle anything right now. Not school. Not Mortimer. Not their relationship. Nothing. James tries to tell her she doesn't have to go through this alone. But Ruby's eyes fill with tears as she shakes her head. She has to focus on her family, on her father fighting for his life. She cannot afford another heartbreak, another battle, another moment of emotional chaos. As much as she loves James, she cannot breathe under the pressure anymore. And her silence, her distance, feels like a knife twisting through James' chest. Back at Maxton Hall, the situation hits its peak. Mr. Lexington calls Lydia and Graham into his office after receiving the video officially. The shock, the disappointment, the fear, it all erupts at once. Lydia breaks down, Graham panics, and Mr. Lexington realizes the scandal will ripple through the entire school once exposed. The finale makes it clear. Reputations will crumble, futures will shift, and Maxton Hall will never be the same again. As all of this unfolds, Mortimer sits calmly in his grand office, unaware of the accident, unaware of Ruby's suffering, unaware that his schemes no longer matter. For once, the universe doesn't revolve around his control. But James knows. And for the first time, he doesn't care what his father wants or thinks. His entire focus is on Ruby, the girl he loves, the girl who is breaking in front of him. But Ruby cannot look at James without feeling the world spin out of control. Her father's life is hanging by a thread. Her scholarship is gone. Her trust is shaken. Her heart is exhausted. And as much as she wants to hold on to James, She feels herself slipping away from him because right now, hope is too heavy to carry. With tears running down her cheeks, Ruby finally says the words James feared the most. I need time. I need to focus on my family. Please don't make this harder for me. The heartbreak is silent, brutal, and final. The final section of the Maxton Hall Season 2 finale does not offer comfort. Instead, it pulls Ruby and James into a place where love is real, but pain is stronger, and life forces them into choices neither of them ever wanted to make. Ruby steps outside the hospital for a moment of air, but even the cold breeze feels heavy. She stares blankly at the parking lot lights, her mind replaying the doctor's words in a loop she cannot escape. Critical condition. No certainty. Prepare for the worst. Every breath hurts. Every thought stings. And she knows she is standing on the edge of a reality where her entire life could change forever. James follows her quietly. He doesn't push, doesn't speak immediately because he can see the storm inside her. For the first time since he met Ruby, he sees fear so deep it steals her voice. He approaches gently, telling her he will stand by her no matter what, but Ruby pulls away again, not out of anger, but out of exhaustion. She explains in a trembling voice that she can barely hold herself together. Her father is fighting for his life. Her family is breaking. Her future is uncertain. And she feels like she's drowning in a sea of things she cannot fix. And James, despite his love, is another weight she can't carry right now. He listens, truly listens. And that hurts more than anything, because as he watches her fall apart, he realizes that loving her also means letting her go when she needs space to breathe. So he swallows the ache in his chest and tells her he understands. But the truth is, he's shattered. Completely. Back at Maxton Hall, chaos finally reaches its climax. The administration receives the full leaked footage of Lydia and Graham. The board is furious. The scandal threatens the school's reputation, and the consequences come fast and heavy. Lydia is pulled from class, Graham is removed from campus, and the rumors spin out of control. Their private lives become public entertainment within minutes. Elaine and Cyril watch from the sidelines, understanding too late that some things, once exposed, cannot be undone. Maxton Hall's perfect image fractures, and by the end of the finale, it's clear that every character will face the fallout in Season 3. Meanwhile, Mortimer finally discovers the accident through Jane's absence from home. But instead of concern, Mortimer's reaction is cold calculation. He believes Ruby leaving the school temporarily is for the best. He believes James stepping back from her will restore order. And he believes his interference was justified all along. That twisted confidence only fuels James' anger until it simmers into something different: determination. For the first time, James sees his father not as someone to fight against, but someone to walk away from entirely. The finale plants that seed very carefully. As night settles, Ruby sits beside her mother in the silent hospital hallway. The nurses rush back and forth. Machines beep steadily behind closed doors, and every minute stretches into an eternity. Ruby tries calling James once, just to hear his voice, but she stops herself. She knows that if he answers, she will break in ways she can't afford right now. So she locks her phone, wipes her tears, and focuses on her father. James, meanwhile, drives home alone. He parks the car but can't bring himself to get out. The seat feels too empty without Ruby beside him. He thinks about their first kiss, their fights, their dreams, and the way she looked at him earlier, broken, lost, scared. And he realizes that this moment, right now, is the price of loving someone deeply, the possibility of losing them. The final scene of the finale brings the heartbreak full circle. Ruby receives an update from the doctor. Her father survived the surgery, but the next 24 hours are critical. She sits down in the waiting area, her chest tight, her breathing shallow. Lynn rests beside her, offering silent support. Ruby whispers that everything is falling apart again, and she doesn't know how to hold on. And then, in pure silence, James' message appears on her phone, for simple words: "I'm here. Always." Ruby stares at the screen, tears slipping down her cheeks. She loves him. She truly does. but she cannot reply. Not tonight. Not when her world is on the edge of collapse. She locks the phone again and buries her face in her hands, letting the finale close on the most painful truth of all. Love is not the problem. Life is.